The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the bustling city as I drove to the hotel where my wife Samantha was supposedly attending a crucial business conference. I had always trusted her during these trips, often brushing off the whispers of jealousy that occasionally flared up. She was ambitious, driven, and had worked hard to climb the corporate ladder. But that day, I felt an insatiable urge to surprise her. As I approached the hotel, a sense of anticipation coursed through my veins. I imagined her reaction when I walked through the door, her surprise morphing into delight at the sight of me. I parked my car, adjusted my shirt, and stepped into the lobby. The smell of fresh coffee mingled with the chatter of guests and the soft hum of the elevator. My heart raced with excitement as I made my way to her floor. Reaching her room, I paused for a moment, the sounds of laughter filtering through the door. I smiled, imagining she was just having a good time with her colleagues. With a gentle knock, I waited for her to answer. When there was no response, I decided to let myself in. The door creaked open, and the scene that unfolded before me shattered the world I thought I knew there. She was my wife, half naked and entangled with another man in the dim light of the room. My heart dropped into my stomach as the reality of the situation set in. Samantha was on her knees pleasuring him, her back arching in a way I had only seen during our most intimate moments. What the hell? I gasped, my voice barely above a whisper. But the shock reverberated through the room. They both froze, the surprise plastered on their faces. Samantha's eyes widened in horror as she scrambled to cover herself, her cheeks flushing a deep crimson. The man, his expression shifting from shock to smug satisfaction, slowly pulled up his pants, clearly unfazed by the intrusion. "Jack, too, didn't expect you." Samantha stammered, her words tumbling over one another as she hurriedly grabbed a hotel towel to shield herself. Clearly, I replied, my voice steadied. Despite the chaos raging inside me, I felt like I was floating outside my body, watching this betrayal unfold in real time. "I guess the business trip is more than just work." Huh. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. The weight of the moment hung heavy in the air. I could feel the anger boiling beneath my skin, a tempest of emotions swirling in my chest. My mind raced as I processed what I had just witnessed. This was no mere mistake. This was a deliberate act of betrayal. "Jack, please." She finally managed, her eyes pleading as she stepped forward, but I took a step back, the distance between us growing. I couldn't bear to touch her, to acknowledge the life we had built together. "Please, what, Samantha? What could you possibly say to justify this?" My heart ached, but my voice remained cold, cutting through the tension like a knife. "I can explain. It's not what it looks like." She pleaded, her desperation evident as she glanced back at the man, who was now fully dressed and leaning casually against the wall, a smirk playing on his lips. "Not what it looks like." I scoffed, feeling rage ignite within me. "You're right. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it is. My wife cheating on me in that moment." Something inside me snapped. The trust, the love, the memories we had shared crumbled like dust in the wind. I turned on my heel, exiting the room, leaving behind the chaos and betrayal. As I made my way down the hall, my heart pounded in my chest. I needed to think, to plan. I couldn't let her get away with this. This wasn't just about the infidelity. It was about the lies, the deception that had seeped into every corner of our relationship. Over the next few days, the shock morphed into a cold, hard resolve. I mapped out my revenge, each detail meticulously planned. I would ruin her life, make her feel the betrayal that had pierced my heart. Divorce wasn't just an option. It was the only path forward. I sought legal advice, strategizing the best way to dismantle the life she had so carelessly destroyed. Every interaction with her felt like a game, a dance of pretense as I hid my true intentions behind a facade of normalcy. Each day, I felt the thrill of the impending revenge build within me. The moment for retribution was approaching, and I couldn't wait to see the shock on her face when the truth unraveled. Samantha had chosen this path, and now she would have to face the consequences of her actions. With determination coursing through my veins, I prepared for the inevitable confrontation, ready to shatter her world. just as she had shattered mine. I had trusted her, but now that trust lay in ruins and I was ready to reclaim my life, one vengeful step at a time. The following days blur into a haze of anger and betrayal. I walk around the apartment, each piece of furniture, a reminder of the life we once shared. The smell of her perfume still lingers, taunting me, igniting the rage simmering just beneath the surface. Every time I pass her favorite spot on the couch, I feel the urge to destroy something, anything to reclaim the control she stripped from me. I sit at my desk, staring at the divorce paperwork, the pen trembling in my hand. I can already hear her voice pleading with me, but this time it won't work. This time I won't be swayed by her tears or her hollow promises. She made her choice, and now I have to make mine. I pick up my phone and scroll through my contacts until I find Michael's name. He's a friend who knows the ins and outs of our social circle. He's a good guy, always ready to lend a hand. I need him now, someone to confide in and strategize with. I hit call, and after a few rings he picks up. "Hey, Jack. What's up?" His voice is warm, and it momentarily calm. My racing heart. "Michael, can we meet? I need to talk." I reply, my voice betraying the weight of my emotions. "Sure, man. How about that cafe downtown?" "I'll be there in 20, he says, and I can hear the concern creeping into his tone. I grab my jacket and head out the door, determined to get my plan in motion. The cafe is bustling, the smell of coffee and pastries filling the air. I find a corner table, my foot tapping anxiously against the floor as I wait for Michael. When he arrives, he immediately senses the tension. "What's going on, Jack? You look like you've seen a ghost," he says, sitting down across from me. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves. "It's Samantha," I start, but the words feel heavy on my tongue. "I caught her cheating." Michael's eyes widen in shock, and he leans forward. "What are you serious?" I now, and the dam breaks as I recount the events of that day, the disbelief etched on my face as I describe the scene I stumbled upon. I was supposed to surprise her. Michael. I trusted her, and then I find her with some guy. It's unreal. "I'm so sorry, man. That's brutal," he says, shaking his head in disbelief. "What are you planning to do? Divorce her?" I reply, my voice steadying with resolve, "But I want to make it hurt. I need her to feel the betrayal like I do. I can't just walk away and let her get away with this." Michael leans back, crossing his arms as he considers my words. "You're thinking about revenge." "Yes. I want to ruin her life, just like she ruined mine." I admit, the anger bubbling to the surface again. "All right. I can help with that. What's your plan?" He asks, a spark of intrigue lighting up his eyes. "I'm gathering evidence, something that will hit her hard when we go through the divorce. I need to make sure she loses everything." I explain, a chill running down my spine at the thought. I'll get my hands on her texts, emails, anything that can prove she was cheating. Michael nods, clearly on board. "I can help you with that. We can get into her social media accounts and find anything that could be useful. I know a few tricks." He says, a hint of mischief in his tone. "Thanks, man. I appreciate it, but we need to be careful. I don't want her to suspect anything." I caution the tension in my shoulders, easing slightly as we discuss strategies. I feel a rush of adrenaline. The plan begins to take shape, and I can almost taste the sweet satisfaction of revenge. I lean forward, lowering my voice. I want her to feel isolated, cut off from her friends, her support system. I want her to see what it feels like to be betrayed. Michael raises an eyebrow, a smirk playing on his lips. "You really mean it, don't you? This isn't just about the divorce for you. This is personal." "Of course it is," I reply, anger lacing my words. "I've trusted her for so long. I want her to understand the gravity of her actions." We spend the next hour plotting, every detail painstakingly considered. We discuss how to gather the evidence discreetly, how to infiltrate her social circles without raising suspicion. The plan becomes a blueprint for my revenge, and with each passing minute, my resolve strengthens. As I leave the cafe, the weight of my anger feels a little lighter. The plan is set in motion, and I know that with Michael's help, I can make this work. I want Samantha to realize that her choices have consequences, and I'll stop at nothing to see her life crumble. Later that night, I sit on the couch, staring at the wall, contemplating my next move. The silence is deafening, punctuated only by the ticking of the clock. I imagine her life unraveling, each thread pulling away until all that's left is a tangled mess of despair. I can almost see her face the confusion, the heartbreak as she realizes the gravity of what she's lost. But for now, I need to focus on the details. I want to make sure my revenge is executed perfectly with precision that leaves no room for error. Tomorrow I'll start gathering evidence. I'll be the storm in her life, the force that brings her world crashing down. And as I lay down to sleep, a twisted sense of satisfaction washes over me. The path ahead is dark and filled with uncertainty, but one thing is clear. I won't rest until she feels every ounce or betrayal I've felt. The sun rises, casting a pale light through the blinds. As I prepare for the day, a mix of anxiety and anticipation coils in my stomach. Today is the day I start putting my plan into action. I can't let another moment slip by without getting the evidence I need to make Samantha pay for her betrayal. I grab my phone, scanning my contacts until I find Michael's name. I need him with me for this. He knows the plan, and having him by my side will make things easier. I shoot him a quick text, ready to start the mission. Within minutes, my phone buzzes. Let's do this, meet me at the cafe. In half an hour. I nod to myself, a rush of adrenaline surging through me. I can already feel the pieces falling into place. After a quick shower and a change of clothes, I grab my jacket and head out the door. The cafe buzzes with morning energy patrons chatting over steaming cups of coffee. I spot Michael at our usual table, his expression serious. As he taps away on his laptop, I slide into the seat across from him, ready. He asks, a hint of excitement in his eyes. Absolutely. What's our first step? I reply, leaning forward, my heart racing. First, we need to get into her social media accounts. I've been doing some digging and found out she has her password saved. On her laptop, he explains, a determined glint in his eyes. We can log in and see if there's anything incriminating. Good thinking. I'll get into the apartment while she's at work, just a quick in and out. I say, my mind racing with possibilities. Then we can figure out our next move from there. Michael nods, a smile creeping across his face. You know you're really going for it. I admire your determination, man. I chuckle, the tension easing slightly, just trying to level the playing field. As we finish our coffee, I outline my plan to Michael. I'll wait until she leaves for work, slip into our apartment, and make my way to her laptop. If I can access her accounts, I'll find the evidence I need. The thought of finally having something to use against her sends a thrill through me. The hour creeps by, and soon it's time for me to head home. I drive with a sense of purpose, each turn bringing me closer to the moment I've been waiting for. The apartment looms ahead, a place that once felt like a sanctuary, now transformed into a battleground. I park and make my way to the building. Taking a deep breath, I step inside, the familiar sense of home filling the air. I hurry to the apartment door, my heart pounding as I fish for my keys. Once inside, I glance around, ensuring everything is just as I left it. The living room feels cold, the remnants of our shared life, now a haunting reminder of what was. I head to the office, where Samantha keeps her laptop on the desk, and I sit down, my fingers trembling slightly as I boot it up. I navigate to the login screen and take a moment to gather my thoughts. I enter her usual password, a combination of our anniversary and her birth date. To my surprise, it works. The screen lights up, revealing her desktop cluttered with folders and files. I navigate to her social media accounts, first scanning through messages and posts. My heart races with every click, each revelation pulling me deeper into a web of lies. Suddenly, a message catches my eye. It's from the same guy I saw her with in the hotel room. Ryan, my breath hitches as I click on the chat. Hey babe, can't wait to see you tonight. Just think of all the fun we'll have. I grit my teeth, anger boiling inside me. This isn't just a one-time mistake. This is a full-blown affair. I scroll through more messages, each one revealing the depth of their betrayal. I feel a mix of rage and sadness wash over me. Just as I'm about to take screenshots, I hear a key in the lock. My heart drops, and I quickly shut the laptop, scrambling to my feet. I glance around the apartment for a place to hide, but there's nowhere to go. The door swings open, and there she stands. Samantha, her expression shifting from surprise to confusion. "Jack, what are you doing here?" she asks, her voice laced with panic. "I thought I'd surprise you," I say, forcing a smile that doesn't quite reach my eyes. "I missed you." She narrows her eyes, clearly suspicious. "You weren't supposed to be home. Neither were you," I retort, crossing my arms. The tension in the air crackles like static electricity. "What do you mean?" she asks, a hint of defensiveness creeping in her tone. I step closer, my heart racing. As I confront her, I saw the messages. "Samantha, I know about Ryan." Her face pales, and for a moment, I can see the panic in her eyes. "Jack, wait. It's not what you think." She pleads, backing away slightly. "Not what I think." I scoff, incredulity flooding my veins. "You're caught in the act, and you still want to play the victim. Please just let me explain." She cries, desperation etched on her face. "I don't want to hear your excuses. You made your choice, and now you'll face the consequences." I say, my voice steady, despite the chaos brewing within me. I turn to leave, but she grabs my arm, pulling me back. "Jack, don't we can work through this? I love you." The words feel hollow, and I shake my head, wrenching my arm free. "You lost the right to say that the moment you decided to betray me," as I walk out. I can hear her sobbing behind me, but I don't look back. The moment I step out of the apartment, I feel a sense of relief mixed with anger. I'm committed to my plan, and now she's aware that I'm onto her. Once outside, I take a deep breath, the cool air hitting my face. I can't let her see how much this hurts. I'm determined to make her pay, and I won't stop until I've unraveled the entire web of deceit she's woven around us. Michael is waiting for me at the cafe, and as I recount the confrontation, I feel a sense of clarity. The plan is taking shape, and I'm ready to execute it. Samantha may think she can talk her way out of this, but I'm no longer the naive husband who trusted her blindly. I'm the storm she didn't see coming, and soon enough, she'll understand the price of betrayal. The game has changed, and I'm ready to take her down. The days drag on, each one a mix of strategy and simmering rage. I've gathered enough evidence against Samantha to dismantle her carefully curated life piece by piece. With Michael's help, we've compiled a file filled with damning messages, photos, and recordings that prove her betrayal beyond a doubt. Tonight, I'm ready to confront her one last time. I want her to know the depths of my anger, to feel every ounce of betrayal that has coursed through my veins since I discovered her infidelity. This isn't just about the divorce anymore, it's about revenge. The apartment feels different. As I prepare for the confrontation, I've set up a meeting at a local bar where we use to celebrate milestones. I want her to relive the memories that have now turned bitter. The thought of it sends a rush of adrenaline through me. I arrive first, claiming a corner booth with a clear view of the entrance. The ambience is lively, but I feel a strange calmness settle over me. I order a whiskey, the amber liquid offering a momentary solace as I wait for her to arrive. When Samantha walks in, her eyes scan the room until they find me. I can see the mix of confusion and dread etched on her face. She approaches and I motion for her to sit. "Jack," she begins, but I cut her off. "No pleasantries. Samantha, we both know why we're here." I say, my voice cold. "I didn't think you'd come." She replies, her voice shaky. "Of course I would. I have a lot to say." I lean back, studying her as she fidgets under my gaze. "You really thought you could betray me and get away with it?" Her eyes dart around the bar, searching for an escape. "Jack, save it." I interrupt, slamming my glass down on the table. "I've seen the messages. I know about Ryan. You think I'd just sit back and let you destroy our lives?" Panic flickers in her eyes. "Please, let's talk about this. I made a mistake. We can fix this." I scoff, shaking my head. "Fix what? Your deceit? You think I could just pretend it never happened?" I pull out the file I've prepared, laying it on the table between us. "This is what you've done to us. Samantha, this is the proof of your betrayal." She glances down, her face going pale as she sees the evidence laid out before her. "You can't do this, Jack. It's not fair, not fair." I echo, incredulity washing over me. "You think it's fair to cheat on your husband, to lie and deceive?" She leans in desperation, clawing at her voice. "I was lonely. You were always working, and I wanted someone to be there for me. Your excuse is pathetic. I snapped, the anger boiling over. You made your choice, and now you'll pay the price. Her expression shifts, defiance creeping in her eyes. What do you think you're going to do? Ruin me? You're the one who will end up looking like a fool. I leaned forward, locking eyes with her. I'm already ruining you. Samantha, I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you've done. You'll be the laughingstock of our friends, and you'll lose everything you hold dear. She scoffs, trying to mask her fear. You think people will believe you over me? I have friends who will stand by me, not after they see this. I pull out my phone, scrolling to a video I recorded of her and Ryan. The audio crystal clear. This is just the beginning. Her eyes widen as she realizes the implications. You wouldn't dare try me. I hiss. You want to play with fire. Now you're going to get burned. The tension in the air thickens as I watch her realize the gravity of the situation. I can see her calculating, desperately trying to formulate a plan, but I won't give her the chance. I lean back, a sense of satisfaction washing over me. I've already contacted a lawyer. The divorce papers are ready, and I'll be taking everything. You'll be left with nothing but the consequences of your actions. What about the good times we had? She pleads, her voice trembling. Good times, they were all lies. I retort, my anger surging. I can't believe I trusted you, and now you want me to feel sympathy for you. I stand up, tossing a few bills on the table. Enjoy your last few moments of freedom. Samantha, I'm going to make sure you regret ever crossing me. I turn to leave, but her voice stops me. You'll regret this too. Jack, you think this will break me? I'll rise from the ashes. I turn back, fury igniting. You think you're strong. You're nothing but a coward hiding behind your lies. I'll make sure everyone knows the truth, and you'll be left alone with nothing but your guilt to keep you company. As I exit the bar, I feel a sense of release. The weight of the world lifts off my shoulders, but I know this is just the beginning. I have the upper hand now, and I won't stop until she feels the full brunt of her betrayal. The next few days are a whirlwind of activity. I finalize the divorce, ensuring the papers are served and every detail is executed flawlessly. I share the video with our closest friends, watching as their reactions shift from disbelief to shock, then horror. The looks on their faces when they see Samantha's betrayal unfold are priceless. The news spreads like wildfire, and soon Samantha is left reeling. Friends she thought she could rely on turn their backs, and the life she built begins to crumble. I see her at the grocery store, her eyes hollow, a shell of the woman I once knew. Jack, she calls, desperation in her voice. But I don't look back. I've won, and as much as it pains me to admit it, I feel a twisted sense of satisfaction. The betrayal cuts deep, but now she knows what it feels like to lose everything. As the months pass, the finalization of the divorce feels like a distant memory. I move on, building a new life, one without the shadows of her deceit hanging over me. The anger fades, replaced by a sense of freedom I never thought I'd reclaim. One evening, as I sit in my new apartment, I receive a message from Michael. Hey man, just checking in. How are you holding up? I smile, responding with a simple, I'm good, just living life again. The chapter of my life that revolved around Samantha is closed, and while the scars of betrayal remain, I'm ready to embrace the future. I've learned that betrayal can shape you, but it doesn't have to define you. In the end, I didn't just take revenge. I found my strength in the ashes of deceit, and for Samantha, the girl who once held my heart,